Hello, hi, this is Lazy Veils and welcome to my YouTube channel. In this video I'm going to be talking about Sonic and the Fallen Star, and I decided to play this game after playing Sonic Galactic, and luckily for me this game is not a demo, it's complete, so I get to play the full thing instead of being left wanting more. If you haven't seen my video on the Sonic Galactic playthrough, you can watch it. Anyway, Sonic Galactic starts off with Sonic and Tails seeing a fallen star falling onto an island, and they decide to investigate and follow through what's going on. So the star falls down at what will be as the first zone of the game, which is known as Sapphire Sights. Sapphire Sights is a really beautiful zone. This is the first stage of the game. It's a very beautiful blue and green landscape. Before I talk more about each zone in the game, let me just describe some of the abilities that Sonic has. Sonic can do a spin dash, and he can also run in place. Sorry, I forgot what it's called, and I feel so dumb because I discovered this at the end of the game. I didn't know you could do this the whole game. I only thought you could just do the spin dash. Anyway, Sonic also has access to 3 shields. The first one is the bubble shield, which allows you to bounce down and gain greater height when you double jump. The second one is the lightning shield. The lightning shield attracts rings and also propels you downward when you double jump, giving you extra momentum to run. And the last shield is the flame shield. The flame shield gives you a triple jump, and with each jump you go higher, which is really cool. I like this. It makes it easier to access really high places as Sonic. As you know, Sonic has a hard time reaching high places. The game begins in Sapphire Sights. Sapphire Sights, it was just a breeze really. There's nothing too difficult about this stage. I mean, it's the first zone after all. And after completing Sapphire Sights, we head on off to Tropical Tracks. Tropical Tracks has to be like my favorite zone in the game. It's so beautiful and the music is just so good. Like, I really enjoyed playing Tropical Tracks. Everything, like this zone is just everything. At one time I was running so fast the game actually glitched. Have you ever run so fast and moved so fast that the game decides to glitch? Like I was so surprised. I had to actually restart the game after that. I was like, what the hell? Anyway, Tropical Tracks is this beautiful momentum filled place, and it really feels like a transport system, I guess, Eggman's transport system, and it's just a really cool zone, a well designed zone. I also like this really giant loop that you can find in Tropical Tracks. I was like, what is this? Also, that there's so many other cool loops, of course. There's another cool loop in Tropical Tracks, but the giant loop did it for me. I was like, whoa, this has to be like the biggest loop I've ever seen in the game. It's a very momentum based stage, and it's just gotta go fast, and the music is so hype in Tropical Tracks Zone 1. I think it has to be my favorite music in the entire OST of the game. Tropical Tracks is just a fun, fast-paced zone, and a zone that I see myself replaying a lot. And also, I really like the beautiful background. There was one time when I was playing where I was like, okay, let me just peep the background and stare at the beautiful background. Sometimes you have to appreciate the amount of work put into games in drawing and designing the stages. You just had to like admire the background. But yeah, Tropical Tracks was definitely my favorite zone. After completing Tropical Tracks, you head on off to Discount Districts. No lie, I wasn't feeling Discount Districts that much, especially on my first playthrough. I feel like I enjoyed the zone more after I finished the game and then replayed it. I don't know, I just feel like it doesn't stand out as much as the other zones. It may be my least favorite zone in the game, but it's not that bad, to be honest. I like the railways, and I really love the casino music vibe that the stage has going on. But other than that, I feel like it didn't really stand out to me. It's pretty fun, but it's okay, I guess. Compared to the other zones, it just did not really do much for me. but I really like the design of the stage. It has beautiful colors and everything, and yeah, pretty much that's it. Maybe it's just me, maybe someone else enjoyed the stage, and someone else, maybe this is someone else's favorite zone of the game, but I wasn't really feeling it that much, to be honest. And it might also be because it's like you're coming off of Tropical Tracks, and Tropical Tracks was so much fun and like so momentum based and such hype music and everything, so it feels like you just kind of fell off. I don't know. But I think I think you get what I'm saying. Like, because I enjoyed Tropical Tracks so much, I think I was expecting the next level to be just as hype, but Discount Districts didn't really do much for me. But overall, it's still a great zone. I feel like the developers did a good job overall with all of the zones, but I think I'll speak more on that at the end. After Discount Districts, we head on over to Bubble Blossom Zone. Bubble Blossom Zone is really interesting in the sense that it feels like you have two paths that you can follow. You can either play the zone above or below underwater, so you can choose to play underwater or on the surface. I really like this, and I feel like it gives a lot of options. If you're someone who doesn't want the drag of being underwater, you can just play, like, I think the whole zone on the surface, which is kind of great, although you can kind of miss out on some cool things that are underwater. Bubble Blossom Zone 1 has this kind of like DAO filter, and at first I was confused, but it made sense later on because Bubble Blossom Zone 2 brought the color and everything. Like, it felt like the filter is gone, and now you like head on over to the surface and it's like so bright and beautiful. It's like a party now. There's a lot of confetti, it's colorful, it's vibrant. I really love the transition from Bubble Blossom Zone 1 to Zone 2. That was really good. Really good job to the developers. That also surprised me. I was like, whoa, where did all this color come from? Where was it all this time? Yeah, Bubble Blossom was pretty fun, I would say. It's a pretty decent zone. I feel like it has a little bit of everything, and that's what makes it a good zone for me. You have a little bit of momentum, a little bit of platforming, a little bit of this, a little bit of that, and I would say that it's a pretty decent zone. Bubble Blossom is definitely a good zone and a replayable one. I replayed this zone and I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it the first time through, and even when I replayed the game. So yeah, a pretty decent stage. Don't really have to panic much about underwater stuff because you don't really spend that much time underwater. It feels like more time is spent on the surface, but yeah, and that's really cool because, you know, being a Sonic game, you're so used to moving fast, and underwater it's like there's a lot of water resistance, so at least you don't have to worry about that. But overall, Bubble Blossom was fun. Yeah. After Bubble Blossom, we head on over to Frozen Fountain Zone. Frozen Fountain is sort of like the ice stage. It's basically the ice stage of the game, and it's like you're on a frozen mountain, an ice mountain. It's snowing. It's a very beautiful and blue stage. There's a lot of blue in this stage. In a way, the colors of this stage kind of feel like Sapphire Sights, but like a different font. I don't know if you get it, you get it. Like, it's the same blue and green, it's just a different shade, I guess. Frozen Fountain is pretty cool. It's sort of like Bubble Blossom in the sense that there's a lot of up down, going up and running up and down the stage, which I like, instead of just like moving in a linear path. And a lot of parts involve you. There's a lot of platforming also in Frozen Fountain Zone. There's a lot of like jumping and not just momentum. The momentum is still there, but there's a lot of platforming, I should say. I really like this stage because of its up and down nature, how you have to like go up and then down. It's like you have to sort of navigate the stage. It's not just like straightforward, and I kind of like that in a way. I feel like it offers a different feel. Frozen Fountain was pretty fun. It was a pretty decent stage. Like I said, the vibes were similar to Bubble Blossom. I guess something that I liked in the stage was this transition from like the screen has fog. It shows that it's heavily snowing. I think that was a nice touch from the developers, just to show that like there's a lot of high ice, there's heavy snowing. It's little things like that that make a game fun for me, because it shows that the developers cared enough. It gives the game charm, you know what I mean? So yeah, but Frozen Fountain was a pretty fun stage, I would say. From Frozen Fountain, we head on off to Gusty Greenhouse Zone. Oof, not gonna lie, I wasn't feeling Gusty Greenhouse. Just like Discount Districts, I was not really feeling the stage that much. I don't know what it is. I like the vibes were just not. I just wasn't vibing with the stage. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. I don't know what it is. Like I think it has some fun elements here and there. Like there is a bit of fun, but I think it just doesn't stand out as much as the other zones. Just like Discount Districts, there's no standout feature like, wow, there was this thing that the greenhouse had that the other levels didn't have. So I think that's what the issue was, but still, I guess a pretty decent zone. Like there were some things that I was like, okay, fine, I guess that's great. But yeah, I just wasn't really feeling it that much, but still a decent zone, I would say. Anyways, moving on from that, we head on off to Carnival Crater. Now this was a really fun stage. I like that it's a lava stage, but it's like a lava stage and a carnival stage, so there's a bit of fun. There's so many fun elements. I really like that the balloons don't pop once you bounce on them, because I was like, to have to like fall off the balloons and have to do it again. Thank you so much to the developers for making balloons that don't pop when you bounce on them. I really like the roller coaster that propels you forward and launches you up high. The music is so much fun. There's also this like loop-de-loop, I don't know if you saw it, this little loop-de-loop moment. There's just so much fun in this stage. It's just so fun and so colorful. Usually lava stages you'd be panicking, but with this one you're like, this is just so much fun. Again, let's do it again and again. Definitely a lot of momentum in this stage, and just like tropical tracks. This was also a really fun zone for me. Honestly, this Carnival Crater was just so much fun, and I really enjoyed this zone a lot. The music is so cool. I really love like the rock elements, the guitar, like it's so noisy and everything. I feel like the music matches the zone so well. Shout out again to whoever worked on the OST. You did a really good job with the music overall in the game, but especially with like Carnival Crater, like it fits so well. It's crazy. But yeah, that was Carnival Crater. I really enjoyed this zone. Had so much fun, honestly, and definitely worth replaying, and definitely a zone I replayed a lot, just for the music if anything, and just to enjoy all the other elements really. After finishing off Carnival Crater, we headed over to Raspberry River zone. Honestly, my favorite zone. It's between this and Tropical Tracks, but I think Raspberry River is taking it. Look at how beautiful this zone is. The green, the purple, the environment. You could just stare at the environment without even playing the game. It's just a very beautiful zone, the most beautiful zone, and my favorite zone because everything just blends so well. The music, the platforming, the speed. Raspberry River is taking it. Sorry, Tropical Tracks. Raspberry River is just lush and like an island, like a beautiful island vibes. This zone is so good, and I also like how it's top down. There's a lot of going up and down, and I feel like there's so much to explore in this zone. There's so much going on, and it's just a very replayable zone, just to admire the beauty and just to explore everything well. There's speed, there's platforming, there's the music, there's the enemies, there's the soundtrack. What isn't working in this zone? Raspberry River was such a surprise also coming from Carnival Crater, because it was like, whoa, Carnival Crater was so hype, would the next zone be great? And this zone did just that. It's different from Carnival Crater, but it offers such a really beautiful experience and a very replayable level, and a level that honestly I loved replaying and trying to explore everything in this level. This level is taking it, like its peak. The developers did it. They did it, guys. Like, this is the level. If there was one level that I would show to someone who hasn't played this game, or one level that I would talk about, it would be this one. Raspberry River is it. And finally, the final zone, Thunder Turbine Zone. Thunder Turbine Zone is like, you're going up to the sky to fight the final boss. It's very colorful, and I was surprised by how much speed this level has. I feel like there's so many things that propel you forward or push you. I mean, not only the turbines, but so many things in the environment. I didn't think that the final level would offer so much speed, even more speed than some of the levels that were before this. Definitely Thunder Turbine Zone is really good. Thunder Turbine Zone is the final zone, and you can just feel it. The atmosphere, the music, the enemies, the speed, like it really feels like the stakes are high. Even the music gives the impression that this is the final zone. I don't think, even without the cutscenes and everything, I think it's just obvious that this is the final zone. It definitely gives final zone vibes. After talking about all these zones, it's time for me to explore the boss battles and what I like and I didn't like from all the boss battles. The boss battles in this game are hit and miss. Like, some are really good, some I just don't get it, but I can see the vision, I can see what they were going for. Let's start with zone 1. The first boss is actually fun because it feels like a speed chase, and this boss is really good for Sonic because he can do the spin dash. Overall, a good boss and a great way to start off the game. Definitely a well designed boss fight. I really enjoyed it, that was fun. And then in Sapphire Sights Zone 2, the battle with Eggman was also a well designed battle. Just need to time things correctly so that he doesn't catch you or grab you, and just have to make him hit himself with his arm. A really great way to start off the game, and overall also I'll say all of the Zone 2 battles were well designed. My issue was mostly with the Zone 1 boss battles. Some I weren't feeling them. Anyway, the Sapphire Sights Zone 2 battle was not too difficult, very doable, and just a fun boss battle, I guess. Very fitting for Zone 1. Oof. And then the Tropical Tracks Zone 1 boss battle. This has to be like the lamest boss battle. Like, I was like, is this it? Like, is this it? I just stand under the boss and just jump and hit it. Like, what's going on here? I feel like this is one of the poorer designed boss battles. Maybe I don't get it. I was just left there standing there like, what? Huh? I don't get it. Like, was that it? Is that the boss battle? Which kind of sucked, because like I said, Tropical Tracks was so much fun, and then the Zone 1 boss battle just kind of left me like, okay, that was kind of lame. Like, one of the reasons why it was kind of, I had to choose Raspberry River over Tropical Tracks. The Zone 1 boss battle was pretty lame, honestly, for Tropical Tracks. But I can see the vision, I can see what they were going for, but it did not work for me. Luckily enough, the Zone 2 battle was hype, with the train tracks and Eggman controlling the train and throwing items, and you have to hit that bumper or siren at the top, whatever that thing is. This was such a good boss battle coming from Zone 1. Zone 1 was kinda lame, but Zone 2 definitely redeemed the game. I really like how with Sonic you have to like time your jumps and jump on the spring to hit Eggman. This boss battle is just way too easy as Tails, because you don't even have to wait for the spring. You can just fly up and then hit Eggman, and you can avoid all of the things that Eggman is throwing at you. So it's definitely easy as Tails than Sonic, but this was a great boss battle. Really good. This was so much fun, and I like how like every time you hit Eggman twice, it's like you're descending lower. And I also like the thing of like having rings in boss battles. I feel like it really helps because it's so easy to lose your rings, especially in this case. So thank you for the free rings, especially for someone who hasn't played the Sonic game. I feel like it's very easy to struggle here, but the rings are definitely helpful. A great boss battle. This was good. Okay, discount districts. Let's just talk about the Zone 1 battle. Discount districts Zone 1 boss battle was just okay. Like I said, I wasn't really feeling the stage, and just like the stage, I wasn't even feeling this boss battle that much. It's like this thing with spikes is just bouncing up and down, and you just have to avoid the spikes, and then when the spikes go away you can hit it. I guess it was okay. I guess it was, yeah, I mean, it's discount districts. You already know how I feel about this zone, so moving on. Okay, now the Zone 2 battle with Eggman was really good. This is what I was saying, my earlier point, that the Zone 2 battles, the Eggman battles were really good, but the Zone 1 battles are the ones that kind of left me like, I don't know, man, I don't know. Like, Eggman is in this police car and you just have to jump and hit the car, and sometimes he zooms past you and you just have to jump over him from him running you over, and he's like shooting this missile that's like following your jumps and everything. This was a fun boss battle. Like, the Eggman battles were good. This was fun, not too difficult, not too challenging, just fun and very like avoid this, run here, run there, like a bit of momentum, right? Compared to the zone 1 battle where it's like you're moving slow and it doesn't feel like the stakes are that high. But yeah, the zone 2 battle for Discount Districts was good. It was good. Okay, moving on to Bubble Blossom Zone 1. The boss for Zone 1 wasn't really all that, but you see, this was like what the Tropical Tracks Zone 1 boss should have been like, because at least you have to time your jumps and at least you can't just hit the enemy as easily as that Tropical Tracks Zone 1. So even though this boss wasn't all that bad, it's not that bad. Also, I don't get what it's doing. Like, is it shooting water? Is it like electrically discharged water? Like, what is this? It's just dispensing water? Like electric water. Anyway, not a bad boss battle overall. For the battle with Eggman, the Bubble Blossom Zone 2 battle, this was good. Like the submarine, how like at some point the submarine bounces up and down and you can't hit him, you just have to avoid his bouncing up and down so that you don't lose your rings. This was good. And even after like how you hit him and then the platform falls and you fall underwater, you see, this is the thing, like all the Eggman boss battles were good in this game, like honestly. So you just have to time your jumps and also try not to run out of air, but you have air bubbles. Of course, Eggman was kind of annoying to hit, like you keep on jumping but you can't hit him because of like the reduced momentum in the water because of the water resistance. So it's kind of annoying because it's like you're trying to hit him and you keep on missing and then you're running out of air and you're like, anyway, let me just go for the air bubbles. But this was a fun boss battle. This was okay. Like this was fun, and the transition from surface to underwater was fun since Bubble Blossom has like surface and underwater. Like that was the whole concept of the level, going on the surface or going underwater. So it was nice that the boss battle incorporated that. This was a good boss battle. Okay, Frozen Fountain Zone 1, another Zone 1 boss battle that was just like anyway, so like of course at least this is better because you can't like just hit it from the bottom because of that drill thing, or you can just sacrifice rings and then you're able to hit it, or you can just be patient and wait for the drill that is beneath it to go away and then hit it. But this was okay. I just feel like most of the Zone 1 boss battles were really they were really something. Like I get where they're going for, I see the vision, but I don't know if I enjoyed the execution. But the Frozen Fountain Zone 1 boss battle was alright. Like this was okay. Now for the Zone 2 boss battle, this was so much fun. I like the giant loop and how you can just keep on spin dashing and like going round and round, and all you're doing is avoiding the ice obstacles. One time with Sonic I had the flame shield, so you can imagine this boss battle was easier because I could just do the triple jump and hit Eggman directly. But even without the flame shield, this was still a good boss battle. It's fun, you're just going round and round and all you're doing is avoiding the ice. Not too difficult. I don't know, I guess you lose rings if you don't mash out of that ice red thing, but that never happened to me because I always smashed out. But yeah, this was a fun boss battle. I like that also we just have a giant loop in a boss battle. More of that, yes. I also noticed that those, after even destroying the boss, those things that were like trying to freeze you are still there. Is this like something the developers just forgot, or they were just like, yep, these things are just still there for some reason, I don't know why. Also, like there's the giant eye that's still exploding, probably just a glitch. Yeah, but anyways, this was a good boss battle. I had fun. More loops please. On to the greenhouse. The Zone 1 boss battle is with a giant mosquito. Very fitting because you're in a greenhouse, so you expect insects to attack you. So very fitting for the stage. At least a challenge because it like goes away and moves side to side and it shoots projectiles. But just a fun boss. This is one of those Zone 1 bosses that were at least better designed compared to some of the ones that I've talked about. It was decent. It wasn't too difficult, but it was better designed and better executed than the other Zone 1 battles. Yeah. On to the Zone 2 battle. I was so surprised by Mecha Sonic, Robo Sonic. I was like, what are you doing here? But it's funny because after replaying the stage, you can kind of see statues of Mecha Sonic throughout the stage. So it was like hinting that that's going to be the boss battle for Zone 2. The boss battle with Mecha Sonic isn't that hard. I mean, all you have to do is wait for him to land and avoid him running you over and losing your rings. And that's pretty much it. but I just felt like it was just so random to have Mecha Sonic in this game. I was expecting Eggman again for Zone 2, but it was a nice surprise and it kept things fun and fresh, I guess. Just something different and not like too predictable. But also it's weird how like after hitting him a couple of times, it feels like you're back in, what is this, Stardust Speedway? Can't remember the name of the zone, but yeah, from the earlier Sonic games. But I guess nice change of pace from what we were expecting, just something different, so that's nice. Ghastly Greenhouse, funny enough, even though I didn't enjoy this zone that much, the boss battles were actually pretty decent, and that's why I said overall like all of the zones in the games are great, because even if a zone I didn't enjoy like the level, the stage that much, I may have enjoyed the boss battles, and this is one of those cases where like the boss battle was great, like it was good, the boss battles were good. Carnival Crater Zone 1, a very fun zone, really enjoyed the music, the roller coaster, the loops, the balloons, but what is this boss battle? Like I don't get it. Like what is this thing? I guess it fits, it's wearing a hat and the name of the zone is Carnival Crater, but literally you can just keep on spin dashing over and over until it gets destroyed. You may lose a couple of rings, but that's it. Another Zone 1 boss battle that kind of left me like anyways, that the boss is there, I guess. But yeah, but it doesn't matter because I guess I enjoyed Carnival Crater a lot. It's okay if the Zone 1 boss battle wasn't that hype. Now for the Zone 2 battle. Now the Zone 2 battle was really good with the bumpers, and it feels like the battle is in two stages, the first one above and the one below. The one above is easy, it's so easy to avoid the things that Eggman is trying to hit you with, and after they hit the ground you just roll over and hit them, and even the things that are trying to like squash you side to side, if you're Tails you can just fly up and down, fly up and down. So I feel like most of the boss battles are easier as Tails, just fly up, avoid things, come back down, pretty much it. Now after the surface is destroyed, when you go down, now this was so much fun. This was so confusing at first because I was like, how the f do I hit Eggman? Because every time I press the jump it's like I'm falling down, I'm not going up. So it was really confusing. I think I ran out of time the first time because I was so lost. I was like, I don't know how to hit Eggman. But really if you just time it well, especially with the bumper, it's easy to hit Eggman. But this was hype, like this is hype. This is why I said all the Eggman battles are like really good in my opinion. This was hype and it just was so much fun, and you could like really feel the pressure, like I really need to make this work. Again with the rings being part of the boss battle, really nice touch, because it's like even if you lose rings getting hit by Eggman's cannons, it's okay, there are a lot of floating rings that you can get. Really good boss battle, I loved it. Yeah, that was fun. Off to Raspberry River. Now, the reason why I said Raspberry River is my favorite zone is because everything works. The music, the enemies, the level design, everything, and including the boss battles. I feel like Raspberry River and Sapphire Sights and the last zone that I'll talk about after this had the best boss battles. The reason why Raspberry River was one of my favorite zones was because of the boss battles. The boss battle in Zone 1 gives a nod to Sonic 1, the first boss battle with Eggman with that swinging ball pendulum thing. So it's attached to a dragonfly. Again, the dragonfly fits Raspberry River very well because it gives island vibes, and dragonflies are what you expect in an island, I guess. This was a fun boss battle. All you're doing is trying to avoid getting hit by that ball thing, and luckily even if you get hit, there are rings across the stage. Of course, as Tails you can fly up and down. This isn't that hard of a boss battle, you just have to time your jumps and avoid getting hit by the pendulum. But this is again one of those Zone 1 boss battles that was actually well executed. This was good, this was a good boss battle. Now for the Zone 2 battle with Eggman. This was an interesting boss battle because it's like you can't really reach Eggman because he's too up high at the very first, but luckily you have these like things that push you up that act as springs that were there across the level. So they're things that you're familiar with, you know them because you interacted with them during the level. And I thought that this was fun because it's like you can't just hit Eggman as easily as you want to. You really have to use these things and like to get up to hit Eggman at the top. And also I like that Eggman is attacking with water and also the bricks and the foundation that is part of the stage. This was a good boss battle. Of course, when you time the spring thing really well. You can just end up high and keep on bouncing on top of Eggman's head, and pretty much that ends the battle. But that's not easy to do, and it's not something that comes easily because Eggman is like moving from side to side and flying up and down. But this was a good boss battle. I like that they used one of the elements that were part of the stage in the boss battle. I think that was really creative and fun. Now for the final zone, Thunder Turbine. In Thunder Turbine Zone 1, the first zone battle reminds me of something from, like, I guess Sonic 3. I'm not really sure, but I like the references from previous Sonic games. This boss battle kind of confused me because I don't know when this thing opens up and spins around for you to like hit it. Like, I don't know if hitting it makes it easier for it to open its inner parts or core. I was just kind of confused because I didn't understand the timing. Let me just say that I didn't understand the timing, but I like the electric attacks and how it's like trying to zap you and you're like constantly trying to avoid getting zapped. But it's also weird how like it just makes itself open randomly for you to hit it, like, and then even when it's opening it up, because it's spinning, it can hit you. A really confusing boss battle, but very fitting for the final zone because it was challenging. I was so confused at times because I didn't know like when I can hit it and like when is it going to open up for me to hit it. So definitely a better Zone 1 boss battle than some of the previous ones. Now for the final boss battle in Thunder Turbine Zone 2, I really like that they give you a shield before going to fight the final boss, and I like that kind of cutscene where the star pieces are coming out of you. That was interesting. This Eggman's machine robot thing that keeps on running back and forth, I like that it tries to punch you because it gives a nod to the Sapphire Sights Zone 1 boss. At first I was like so confused. I was like, how do I hit this thing? It's just running from side to side and like I don't know how to hit it. And I like that it has like various attacks that you're like trying to avoid. But after a while you start to notice that the top of its head is glowing after some attacks. So you have to keep on trying to get to the top of its head. I also like that at times it can grab you and just throw you and like throw away your rings or drag away your rings. That was fun. This was a hype boss battle, I would say. It wasn't that challenging. At first it's just confusing because you don't know where to hit or what to hit, but over time you're like, this isn't too hard. Also, as Tails, when it's doing its ground bounce thing, as Tails you can just fly up. Like I said, most of the boss battles I feel like are just easier as Tails because it's like, well, I don't have to deal with this, I can just fly up. With Sonic it's like, oh wait, I actually have to time my jumps to avoid the ground pounds. This was a hype boss battle, really nice, really fitting for the ending, and I enjoyed it. I thought this was kind of fun, and I also like how like when you hit the top of his head there's that kind of animation thing. That was so cool, really fun, so much fun. I enjoyed it. This was a good boss battle, very well designed and really fits well with the end of the game. Now I'd like to talk about some of the cutscenes in the game. I really enjoyed the cutscenes because they explained the lore of the game and what exactly is going on. Like in the Sapphire Sights cutscenes, how they're like trying to retrieve the fallen star, and then the star bursts into tiny star pieces that you have to pick up across the game. It's things like this that I feel like I add a lot to the game because sometimes you don't really know the story of the game, so I feel like the story is well explained through the cutscenes. I like that there are cutscenes from each zone, like after finishing each zone onto the next zone. I feel like that's fun and it adds a lot of charm and flair in the game. The Sapphire Sights cutscene was good. I really like this one, but at times the cutscenes can feel long and can feel like a drag, but the good thing is that you can skip them if you want. You don't really have to watch them, but I like that they're there. Some of the cutscenes reference other characters like Amy when you're going to discount districts, and how Tails is like poking fun at Sonic, like, hey, there's Amy on the poster. So I thought that's fun. I thought that was kind of funny because the game isn't just all speed. It's also nice that the developers put work into things like this, because little things like this actually make the game memorable more than just the big things. Like the little things matter. So I really like this cutscene, the cutscene with Amy going to discount districts, and so many of the other cutscenes. Like after finishing Discount Districts, we kind of see what Eggman's plan is during the cutscene before going to the next zone. We kind of see how Eggman wants to like use all of these star pieces to power up his machines that will lead to world domination, and how Sonic and Tails are like trying to stop that because they're retrieving the star pieces themselves before Eggman does. So it's little things like that, you know, because lore isn't really explained that much, or the story isn't really explained that much just from playing the game. There's some things that you can understand just from playing the levels, but there are other things that are like, what is this, what's the mission, what are we trying to do, who are we trying to save, and all that. And it's explained very well in the cutscenes. That's why I love the cutscenes so much. Also, when they're going to like Frozen Fountain, how Tails like is running so fast that he falls off the cliff, but it's okay because he can fly. And then Sonic is just like, well, I guess we're going down, and it's like, why didn't you just say that before? Because now Tails like just wasted all this energy flying up, and then he has to go down. But anyway, like Sonic, poor communication skills, I guess. My favorite cutscene might be the one from Frozen Fountain going to the greenhouse, and how like they're trying to reach Eggman, and Tails carries Sonic and is flying with Sonic, and they're like trying to make it in, but then the door just shuts. And then they're like, how are we going to make it into the greenhouse anyway? Then they see these trucks that are like driving past them, and then they jump into the back of the truck to enter the greenhouse. This was fun, like, because it's like, well, they didn't know how they were going to get in since it's like locked from the outside, but it only opens as these trucks are like passing by. This was a fun cutscene. This might be my favorite cutscene. Very creative and very fun, and just like a nice way of getting in. But I don't understand why Tails went flying when he was rolling with Sonic, like once they entered into the greenhouse. Like, what was that? Like, Sonic keeps on doing Tails dirty. Like, no. What is Sonic doing? I also like how during the cutscenes, like Sonic is running, doing all these acrobatics to like get to the next zone, and yet Tails is just flying. It feels like Sonic is doing too much. Like, oh, I'm going to run here and go there and spin and all this and all that. Tails is just like, anyway, so we're flying, I guess. But it's definitely funny how Sonic has to try so hard. Tails just has to fly, and that's pretty much it. And the funniest cutscene is the one where Sonic and Tails are leaving Carnival Crater, and then all of a sudden, as Tails is carrying and flying with Sonic, the lava starts rising. You're like, why is the lava rising? And then Tails has to fly faster before they get cooked. So this was really funny because it's like, the lava is rising, fly faster, since Sonic can't fly on his own. And it's like, how is Tails supposed to fly faster if he's carrying your weight? But this was funny, like, and a nice transition from Carnival Crater to Raspberry River Zone. And then this giant ship emerging from the river, and this giant ship being the Thunder Turbine Zone. That was really cool because it's like you wouldn't expect a giant ship to be at this beautiful island place, and how like the star pieces are glowing and hinting that we're going on to the final zone, and how Sonic and Tails are looking at like Eggman's machine and being like, yep, we need to get on there and we need to defeat Eggman, and this is our final mission one last time. Really good cutscenes in this game, very fun, very creative, and I don't see why someone would skip these. I really enjoyed all the cutscenes, honestly. I don't see why you'd like skip them if you're playing the game for the first time, but if you're like replaying it, then yeah, I guess you can skip because you already know what's going to happen. Now I just want to talk about the random enemies that appear across each zone. I feel like all of the enemies in this game are well designed. The fact that I could even remember the enemies after completing the zone, it felt like each zone had enemies that were memorable, and I really like this because I feel like most of the little enemies besides the bosses are kind of neglected, but you can really see how much love was put into the game because it's like, why are even the enemies memorable? I mean, the bouncy grasshopper at Sapphire Sites, and then you have the thing with the beak in Tropical Tracks that kind of looks like a Pokemon. In Discount Districts you have like the bug with the megaphone running around. In Bubble Blossom you have that like elephant that you have to hit 3 times. That was really cool, an enemy that isn't just destroyed upon hitting it once. Frozen Fountain had those enemies that kind of freeze you as you're running, and you can also attack them to avoid them freezing you, which is cool because it's like you have the option of just letting them freeze you, or you can just avoid them and destroy them. the greenhouse had those mushrooms that were like attacking you, and it was so hard to see the attack because it's like it's green and everything is already green in the background. And also like those piranha plants that you just have to avoid because you can't destroy them. Carnival Crater had those stone enemies that like once you hit them you're like pushed back or you're bounced back, which is really cool because it's like they push you into the fire, into the lava, and you're like trying to avoid that. So when you jump at them, you can't like jump at them with like full momentum, you have to like move slowly. And then Raspberry River had like the best enemies in the game. You have a toucan, you have like a bouncy frog, and then you have like a chameleon on a tree, which like I said, which really made Raspberry River the best zone for me because everything like works in the zone. The enemies, the music, the level design, the boss battles, Raspberry River really had that. And even the final zone, Thunder Turbine, had like those enemies that were like shooting lightning bolts at you, and also the enemy that shoots missiles at you that follow you. You'd think that, oh, I'm just going to avoid these missiles, but the amount of times I got hit by those missiles like was crazy. That was so much fun because it was like little things, little details that add so much to the game. You're like, wow, I actually struggled with like a tiny enemy that wasn't a boss. Really glad that the developers put so much effort into the enemies, because most of the enemies I feel like in most of these games are like forgettable, but like as I said earlier, all of the enemies in this game in each and every zone are memorable, and that was great. That was a nice touch to the game. It shows that the developers care not only just about the big things but the little things as well. During my first playthrough of the game, I didn't really care that much about getting the Chaos Emeralds, but then after finishing the game the first time, I was like, oh, let me actually put in effort and try to get them. Of course, I was able to get like 3 or 4 Chaos Emeralds when I first completed the game, but like I said, I didn't really care that much for it. The bonus stage kind of confused me at first because I was like, I don't know what the rings are for. I was so used to the Sonic 3 thing, like I'm just going to go for the blue things, I don't really care about the rings. But then after, like, at first I failed to get the first Chaos Emerald, but after some time I was like, let me try getting the rings and see what happens. And then I could see how like it was adding extra time, and then I was like, okay, so basically you just have to get the blue orbs to run faster and the rings to give you more time. So getting the first Chaos Emerald wasn't really that hard after I understood that concept. Also, something that I really liked about this game is that I feel like the giant rings were really easy to find. Like I think you can get all 7 Chaos Emeralds by the time you reach Tropical Tracks Zone 2, because I was so surprised when I was able to find 3 giant rings in Tropical Tracks, I think Zone 1. Basically you can find 7 giant rings across Sapphire Sites and Tropical Tracks, which is really crazy because it means you can unlock Supersonic by the time you reach Discount Districts or even before, which is really crazy to think about. Getting the second Chaos Emerald took way too long. I don't know why. I feel like that bonus stage was just so long. But anyway, getting the first 3 Chaos Emeralds is not really that hard once you understand the concept of the bonus stage. But I think things become challenging when it's time to get the 4th Chaos Emerald. Getting the 4th Chaos Emerald starts to become a challenge because it's like you can actually fall off the stage if you don't have enough speed. So it's like you really have to get enough blue orbs to run as fast, otherwise the ramp will not propel you forwards to reach the other side of the gap. So many times I confused the ramp that gives you height to like jump over things with the one that just boosts you forward. So many times I was like, oh, this thing is just going to give me a big jump, right? And then I fell off because it's just the one that like boosts your speed. So it was confusing. It was a bit challenging getting the 4th Chaos Emerald. So many times I just fell off the stage, and then I was like, because at this point I had already completed the game, I was like, well, I'm just going to replay the level where I can find the giant rings the easiest. So the level that I was able to find like a giant ring early was Carnival Crater and Sapphire Site. So many times I was just replaying these 2 levels, and of course at times I was just replaying Tropical Tracks because I was able to find like I said 3 giant rings, I think in Zone 1 and Zone 2, and in total like I guess 4 giant rings across Zone 1 and Zone 2. So many times I was like just replaying levels just in order to get the Chaos Emeralds. Getting Chaos Emerald number 5, 6 and 7 was challenging because during the bonus stages there are like these star ramps, and then when you jump on the star ramp there are like these arrows that you have to follow. So at first I was like, what? And then I just pressed like the wrong arrows, and then it was like, oh, course out. But after a while, like, the good thing is that you have like a lot of time to like read the arrows and then press them, input them accordingly. But at first it was kind of confusing because it was like it just came out of nowhere. It was just like a new thing added during the bonus levels, right? So a lot of times I like messed it up before I got it right. There were a lot of times where I messed it up and then it was just course out, or I fell off the course and I was like, I don't know what that was, I don't know what happened. I'll just look for another giant ring and try that again. Trying to get the final Chaos Emerald was such a pain. That like final stage was so confusing. There were so many times when I fell off the stage because I didn't know how to time my jumps in order for me to like hover properly. So there were so many times when I like fell off the stage and I just kept on replaying Carnival Crater Zone 1 because that's where I was able to find like a giant ring the fastest, I think. But of course there's also another giant ring that's like at the beginning of Discount District Zone 1 that I found later on. But anyway, I was just replaying Carnival Crater Zone 1 over and over until I get that giant ring, because I was so confused by like this thing that you like jump over and then you like hover and stuff. It's just so confusing. This bonus stage gave me so many panic attacks because I was like, I'm gonna fall. So it was such a struggle, but after many failed attempts, I was able to get the final Chaos Emerald as Tails. I was able to get all 7 Chaos Emeralds first as Tails before I got them as Sonic, and then I was able to become Super Tails. And if you get all the Chaos Emeralds as Sonic, you're able to become Super Sonic. So this was at like Carnival Crater, right? So I was able to activate Super Tails, and it's like you're just invisible. Super Sonic Super Tails mode is like you're just invisible and you're moving really fast. You can like speed run the game. Also, if you're Sonic, if you do that spin dash thing whilst you're in Super Sonic mode, you run so fast. It's like you're cruising. Obviously you're running out of rings, but the good thing is that there's so many rings across each zone, so you're not really worried about like running out of rings and like reaching 0 rings. At first, like as I was playing the game, I was so confused because I think I was at Sapphire Sites or whatever. I like got so many rings. I reached 100 rings and I was like, how come there's no bonus life sound? And then I looked at the bottom of the screen and I was like, wait, this game doesn't have like a bonus life section. That's crazy, because it's like something that you're so used to, and then when it's not there, you're like surprised because you're like, I'm so used to that after collecting 100 rings like you get an extra life, right? And then it's not there. So I was like, what's the point of having so many rings across each stage, across each zone, if there's no bonus life? But then after unlocking Super Sonic and Super Tails mode, I was like, okay, that makes sense, because at least you have so many rings that can replenish you so that your ring count doesn't reach 0. Otherwise I was like kind of low-key disappointed, because I was like, what do you mean I got 100 rings and I didn't hear that extra life sound? Like, where is it? It's like just one of those things that you're just kind of used to. So noticing that it's not there, I was like, what is this? Me? Am I tweaking? Like, this is so strange. But anyway, the extra rings were for Super Sonic and Super Tails mode, not for the extra life. Although I was low-key disappointed that there's no extra life feature or that extra life sound effect from previous 2D Sonic games. So after getting all of the Chaos Emeralds as Tails, I was like, well, I have to make my way to Thunder Turbine Zone just to see what's going to happen after defeating the boss. So after defeating the boss, we get a different ending. We realize that there's a secret to the game and that there's another boss. So Eggman captures Sonic and Tails after they've defeated that robot thing, and then Sonic uses the powers of the Chaos Emeralds to enter Star Mode. So there's one final boss other than that other machine thing, that robot thing. So the final boss is in space. This was so confusing at first because Eggman's machine has so many attacks and you're like flying across space or the sky. Is this space or the sky? Anyway, whatever, you're flying across and you're just zooming back and forth and Eggman is trying to attack you. Also, as you're in this mode as Sonic, you're running out of rings. So there are rings across the boss battle, but they're not many and they're scattered, so it's kind of hard to like get them and to access them. They're not easy to get. I'm really glad that I decided to grind it out and like get all of the Chaos Emeralds. At first I was like, I'm not even going to bother. I'm not really someone who's like, let me get all the Chaos Emeralds. Most of the times I don't really care that much. Sometimes I get them, sometimes I don't. You get the gist. But then this time I was like, let me try to get them and I just want to see what's going to happen. And this was such a pleasant surprise that there's an alternate ending and that there's another ending to the story and the final boss, not just Eggman's machine thing that you had to hit at the top of the head. This boss battle was difficult. There are so many times when I like lost and I just had to replay it over and over. It was confusing because like Eggman's machine, like I said, has so many attacks, so it's like you keep on losing rings and you're like trying to replenish them, but the rings are scattered. But yeah, overall this was a fun surprise. I'm so glad like I decided to actually get the Chaos Emeralds instead of just moving on from the game. So yeah, once you finish, so there's the regular ending and this ending with the star mode. The regular ending is just Sonic falling from the sky and Tails lands on the plane and goes to get the plane to get Sonic from falling, right? And then this alternate ending is just Sonic in like supersonic mode and he's still falling in the sky and Tails still goes to get the plane, but this time Sonic is not panicking as he's falling through the sky because he's in supersonic mode and he just lands easily on Tails' plane, and that's how the game ends. This was such a good ending and I'm so glad that I got all of the 7 Chaos Emeralds just to see this. This was like a secret ending, so it was worth it getting all of those 7 Chaos Emeralds just to have that final boss battle and just to see how the game ends for real. Now I'm just going to talk about some random things in the game, maybe just some random things I liked and maybe a little bit of criticism and stuff. Some of the random things are like sometimes the colors didn't blend well. It's hard to see like where to jump or where the enemies are attacking. Like in discount districts, it's hard to see if things are a platform or not. Like sometimes the colors in the game didn't blend so well together, but this is just like a minor critique. It's not really like a big issue that like ruined the gameplay for me, but just like maybe if they use different colors, because I felt like most of the levels had like a lot of blue, and maybe because Sonic is also blue it's hard to see. Maybe it was easier as Tails, also because Tails can fly. I also noticed that developers really love that palm tree. I think it's a palm tree from Sonic 1 because I saw it like I think it's there like in the greenhouse and discount districts and across the zones. You know the tree, like the one from Sonic 1. And I was like, you really love this tree. And the developers really love the color blue because the color blue was, I feel like in every zone, like blue was loved. I mean, it makes sense. Sonic is blue, so it makes sense to have like a lot of blue in his games. I also like that they left in the concept art and that you can also rewatch the cutscenes after finishing the game. It's really cool to see the artwork of the game, the concept art, scrapped ideas and things like that, just to see like what it looked like before and the final version, the before and after. So it was really cool that the artwork is there and that you can view it in the gallery. I also like that you can listen to the OST of the game. Like I said earlier on in the video, I really enjoyed the music of this game and I'm glad that you can like go to sound test and like listen to like all the music in the game. That's a really cool feature, and you can like, it's also cool to see Eggman, Sonic and Tails being a band and like playing the music. I really enjoyed the OST of the game, so shout out to the OST by Holly Taylor and Hi and everyone else who worked on the music on the game. The music of this game was really good. I really enjoyed it, and I'll take time to sit down and listen to and re-listen to some of these tracks. Like I said, I really liked Tropical Tracks Zone 1 and Carnival Creator Zone 1. I also liked the Discount District's casino-ish music. Overall, the music of the game was great. I really enjoyed it. There's also like a time attack mode where you can like replay levels as Sonic and Tails to see how fast you can dash through the level, which is fun. Just a little bonus feature that you can play, or you can also just replay the levels again. This game had really good backgrounds, and I spent so much time, I feel like, admiring the artwork of each zone. So shout out to the developers and everyone who was designing and drawing the artwork and everything. Overall, I really enjoyed this game. I'm really a big fan of 2D Sonic, and I'm really glad that I played this fan game. I don't usually play fan games, but I was like, well, since I played Sonic Galactic, why not play Sonic and the Fallen Star? And I'm glad I did. This was a really fun game. I really enjoyed it overall. Shout out to all the developers and everyone who worked on the entire game. I really enjoyed it. I feel like this was a really great project, well executed and well done. Sure, there were some things that I'm like could have been better, but overall it was such a great game. I'm glad that I played it. GG's to the developers and everyone who worked on the game, and yeah, Thank you so much for watching this video. This has been Lazy Veils. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe, and I'll be back with more content later. Hopefully Sonic Galactic will be done, and then I can make like a full video on that, because I played the demo and I would want to play the full thing. I don't know if Sonic Galactic was made by the same people, but yeah. Anyways, thank you so much for watching this video. See you in the next one. Bye.